What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we are doing another Omnibuddy overview. What are we looking at? We are looking at Volume 1 of the hardcover, Canto. All right, so first things first, this comes to us from David Boer and Andrew Zucker, and this book, friggin' awesome. I have been waiting for this book to come out for so stinking long because I try and, my one big rule is I try and only get hardcover books because if I'm just getting every book that that comes out under the sun, I am going to run out of shelf space. Well, I'm far outside of my shelf space at this point, but I'd be way farther outside of my shelf space if I didn't have that kind of that rule of basically hardcovers only. Occasionally break it, but for the most part. But I've been waiting for Canto for so long to come out in hardcover, and Dark Horse finally has collected volumes 1 and 2, and they sent it to me, so thank you, Dark Horse. And I have been so excited to finally be able to check this out. And I know volume 3, as of the making of this video, is coming out very soon too. Yeah, because 1 and 2 basically dropped at the same time, which is kind of crazy, a little bit unheard of in the publishing world to have volume 1 and 2 drop that closely together. But I am not complaining because I got to read both of them back to back, just marathon it through. This overview is only on volume 1, If I Only Had a Heart, and volume 2, The Hollow Men, I will do a overview on soon. Actually, I have it sitting right here so I can hold it up too. So here's volume 2. There you go, volume 1, volume 2. But really great stuff, and they are stories that just continue on. Straight from one to the other, so I am really excited now to get volume 3 coming out soon. But these are such good books. You know what? I should probably just stop talking about it like this, all this. Let's go to that old voiceover of me talking while you can actually see what this book looks like inside and out. Let's go. This is Canto Volume 1 hardcover, If I Only Had a Heart. This is written by David M. Boer and drawn by Drew Zucker. And I gotta say, it's got a great introduction by Stan Sakai, which I didn't actually get a shot of because I forgot. I do have to say, as a comic book lover, one of the things that I absolutely love to see every time is when they use art on the end papers. And man, does this book, all of the volumes so far, volume 1 and 2 of Canto, delivers on awesome art on the end sheets. So I just got to highlight that because I freaking love it. So Canto Volume 1 does come to us from Dark Horse Comics. It retails for $29.99 USD, and it collects the entire first arc of If I Only Had a Heart. In this story, you are immediately introduced to the hero Canto and his predicament, his entire race's predicament, where they are slaves to the slave drivers, and they don't really know what they are or how they've gotten here because they've been there so long that everything at this point is legend. Everything's handed down through stories, and as you know, if you've ever played the game Telephone or anything like that, stories slowly change throughout time the more you tell them. And that's what this whole story really does, is it tells the story as it is legend, because it does flip back and forth between legend and reality, and it kind of blurs those lines and shows them being blurred. It's a really cool storytelling device, and I absolutely loved it. I haven't really come across it before, so this was very inventive, and it's a beautifully told adventure, not just story-wise, but man, Drew Zucker's art is absolutely phenomenal, along with Vittorio Stone's colors. Just beautiful all around. And it's a very quick read at about 172 pages. So you can plow through this volume. Volume 2 is already out because 1 and 2 came out together. So you can grab both and check them out and get through the entire story, because the story does continue straight away in volume 2. But the great thing is while that continues, this is a self-contained story, and it has a lot going on in it. A lot of mystery, mysticism, legends, really good storytelling. And man, some of these double wide page spreads are just gorgeous. I had so much fun reading this book. Every page was just interesting and fun. It's a combination of steampunk and like if you've ever seen the movie Willow or something like that, just that small time hero being in this big oversized adventure. It's so cool seeing these clockwork knights and how this whole world is built around them, and how this whole universe is really filled out with all these different types of people and races and characters and locations all coming together and culminating in a really, really fun, interesting story that really allows you to connect with the characters in a way that you don't normally do, where all these side characters are just kind of side characters in a lot of books. The side characters in this book have a lot to them. They have story, they have heart, they have emotion. I gotta say, Drew Zucker's art really carries a lot of emotion in this book. You know, the hero's face, Canto's face, is just completely covered the entire time. So all the emotion has to be carried through his eyes and how his whole body type is kind of shaped and his shoulders are slumped or something like that when he's sad. It is just so well done in every single panel. I gotta say, a lot of times I see where a story is going and what's happening. And while this story does have a lot of similar tropes to a lot of these adventure movies or books that I've read before, it does work well in that it plays off of them and it doesn't just copy them and reskin them, but it does its own thing and it really makes it work. I also really love that this has a lot of subtlety to it, where it's kind of got that Wizard of Oz feel, you know, if I only had a heart, and there's little nuggets of kind of a Wizard of Oz theme in there with a yellow brick road and some things like that and some playing in there. And in here it's kind of these flying sisters that are, I don't know, vampire-ish dark beings that track him, where it's, you know, in the land of Oz, it's those flying monkeys and things like that. Really interesting plays off of these, but it definitely, like I said before, has a very cool twist to it. If you're at all interested in a really fun adventure that has a lot of heart and interesting plays on a lot of old tropes, this book's absolutely for you. It is an all ages book, I would say, at least young readers and up, maybe 10 plus, but it's not corny in any way where, you know, as an older reader, you're rolling your eyes or anything like that, or bad jokes. It definitely just has a lot of heart that kids can connect with and adults can also. Now, I won't say much about the story because I don't like giving away things, but I really loved the antagonist in this book. The big bad guy, this dark sorcerer that you don't really know, but you kind of figure out what happens and where the sorcerer comes from. I'm not going to say what the story is behind it or anything like that. I'll just say that it does pay off and it is a really good, interesting ending. I did kind of see it coming, but you know what? They absolutely deliver. I don't mind being able to tell where a story's going as long as it delivers on it well. And this definitely succeeds in delivering the ending of the story really well. There's a whole section of extras in this book for, you know, the quest to bring Kanto to life. There's character studies and how they developed in different angles and sketches and of not just the characters and creatures, but the environments, and then showing how the page layouts progress and, you know, from sketch to lines to, you know, inks and colors all the way in there with notes along the way. I absolutely love when they do this. And then they do include a cover art gallery in here. It is 4 covers per page, but I do love being able to see all the different covers in here. Even if they are smaller, I can still appreciate it. I absolutely adored this book and you need to check it out. All right, so that was the overview of Canto Volume 1. Be looking out for Volume 2's overview coming out really soon, hopefully, after things all kind of calm down here in my world. Finally getting back to doing some videos and making some stuff. But man, just so cool. David Boer and Drew Zucker. Zucker's art is just so awesome. Like it just, that's the kind of art, like that adventure kind of stuff, really, really hits home with me. And then David Boer's story is just freaking awesome, and it's just so well told, and it's so interesting. It's kind of like got the steampunk style mixed with like adventure, and it's kind of, I know they did the Willow series on, was it Disney Plus, and then I think they like, didn't they delete it off of Disney Plus and like, nope, never did that, or something like that. But they didn't continue it, that's for sure. But the movie Willow, this kind of reminded me a lot of that kind of adventure of a small hero in this kind of big mystical world with like, you know, this dark figure who is kind of this warlock sorcerer type thing, and they collect other adventurers along the way, and they become so much bigger of a hero in myth and legend. And just, man, it's such a good story. And you know what's really cool about it is that I'm going to be able to hand these books off to my daughter who's 10. Probably won't give them to maybe my 8-year-old. She might enjoy them. They might be a little bit over her head at this point. We'll see. But I can definitely give them to my 10-year-old daughter, and she can absolutely read these, and I think she is going to love them. In fact, we're leaving on a trip tomorrow, and I, just for like a quick trip, and she's gonna be sitting in the van for a while. I think I'm gonna bring these books so that she can check them out too, because I really, really want to know what she thinks of them. Maybe I'll make a short of her overview, just kind of her thoughts on Canto, so you can see what a younger reader might think of them versus me, an older reader. Not that old, am I? I'm getting old. Anyways, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, do all those things. But definitely the most important thing to do is comment. Let me know in the comments what your absolute favorite adventure book is. So it could be like a small hero where, you know, like doing this big adventure, or it could just be like a normal adventure kind of a thing. But let me know in the comments what your absolute favorite adventure book is, or series, because this is kind of a series, and it's still ongoing. There's I think volume 5 is kind of coming out right now as of the making of this video, but I'm definitely going to be doing overviews continuing on, because man, so good. Anyways, let me know in the comments what your favorite adventure book is so that we can all get in on some great adventures. But yeah, that's it. Take care, stay cool.